As an elected representative from County Fermanagh and lifelong human rights activist, I am fully supportive of the campaign to stop the extradition of Liam Campbell to Lithuania. I want to make sure that Liam Campbell's human rights are upheld and human rights are not compliant in Lithuania. Liam Campbell is currently appealing in the Dublin High Court against a European arrest warrant to Lithuania for questioning. This is a country he has never even set foot in. Liam Campbell has already successfully stopped his extradition to the Belfast High Court, the Belfast Recorder Court and the London Supreme Court. They all adjudicated that being sent to Lithuania would be a clear breach of Liam Campbell's human rights, all of which are based on the facts recognised in United Nations reports and empirical studies on the appalling prison conditions and corrupt prison regime in Lithuania. This is a critical situation, therefore I'm seeking everyone's help to please uphold human rights and ensure that the Irish courts defend the same fact-based judgment and stop the extradition to Lithuania on humanitarian grounds. So how might you help? I ask everyone to please get in touch with your local councillor, your Teach Dála and Taoiseach, Uachtaráin na hÉireann, your MEP, your MP and your MLA, to ensure they give voice to protect Irish citizen Liam Campbell. Have absolutely no doubt that if the Irish courts extradite Liam Campbell to Lithuania, he will be exposed to horrendous prison conditions. He will not receive a fair hearing or a fair trial, and ultimately the consequences of this will be a total denial and deliberate abuse of his universal human rights, particularly under Articles 2, 5, 7, 9 and 10. Article 3 in the European Convention on Human Rights states, "No one shall be subjected to torture or to cruel, inhuman or degrading treatment or punishment." The Irish Council of Civil Liberties, evidenced in their empirical study of 9 EU countries, cites Lithuania top of the list with a damning analysis provided on their observed research, whereby prisoners were not even provided with interpreters or afforded their rights in preparation for questioning and interrogation in a foreign language. A further report by the Committee on Prevention of Torture regarding human rights, prisoners are subjected to appalling conditions with overcrowding causing serious concerns during the COVID-19 pandemic. There is inter-prison violence from both the guards and the inmates. Lithuanian prisons work on a caste system, which means inmates are allowed to control everything, including where a prisoner is allowed to sleep. And this creates cruel subjugation, whereby only the strongest survive. And all this depends on how much you pay other inmates. There is a 23-hour lockup, and food may have to be eaten from the floor. There's risk of slavery to drugs, risk of HIV and risk of hepatitis C. And the report further from the Committee on the Prevention of Torture was particularly critical of prison safeguarding against extreme physical and psychological violence, which also includes sexual abuse, particularly towards foreign prisoners. Lithuania's judicial system is inherently corrupt. And last year, over 26 individuals, including a Supreme Court judge, senior police officers and solicitors, were arrested for bribery and corruption. This is only the tip of the iceberg from a country that also has been exposed by the UN Committee Against Torture for having a heinous track record in gross human rights violations throughout the Lithuanian prison system. None of these horrifying issues should be acceptable by us for any Irish citizen to endure, or for any citizen for that matter. Given what we already know from Michael Campbell's heinous experience in a Lithuanian prison, whereby he was not even provided with a family phone call or visit for over 21 months, along with the inhuman, degrading treatment he suffered with a complete lack of medical care and the punishment and torture he suffered of waterboarding. We know that for 6 long enduring years, Michael Campbell's basic human rights were totally denied in this hellhole and therefore no upstanding individual should both knowingly and willingly stand by and allow Liam Campbell to be handed over to the same abhorrent regime where his human rights will be violated. Once again, Article 3 in the European Convention on Human Rights and Article 5 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights clearly states, no one shall be subjected to torture or to cruel, inhuman or degrading treatment or punishment. I want to see these articles and all other articles upheld in this specific extradition case of Liam Campbell to Lithuania. Whilst it's Liam Campbell today, it could be you or me tomorrow. Do not allow the Dublin High Court and the justice system in Ireland to ignore enshrined rights. So please, everyone, get in touch with all of your elected politicians. Together, let's stop the extradition of Irish citizen Liam Campbell to Lithuania. Stand up for human rights. Stand up for Liam Campbell. Guramaagav.